Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
So we're going to do some side lying positions, but to start, we're going to start just on our back. Oh, and then I should say, because we're getting into side lying positions, if if that greater trochanter, that like side hip bone, if it's a tender guy, put just a soft blankie on your mat in side lying position so that it just feels a little cushioned, so you're not just taking too much heat in that bony structure. All right, so once you've got your all your gear near your mat, just yoga block nearby, yoga strap nearby, blanket on the ground if you want it to be there, and then come down onto your back. We'll start in constructive rest. So come on down, walk your feet out just a little bit, let your knees drop in towards each other, and then if you can, right away, hands to the rib cage. And we're just gonna take a moment to just breathe in nice and slow and deep. So as you kind of settle into the ground, do those little wiggles, work out all those little places where you misstepped and need to just get things set right, your costume, your hair, all of those things. And then once you've got yourself into a nice comfortable position where you can kind of get a sense or feel your back or parts of your back connected to the ground, take a breath, and you're just going to notice where in your body you have a tendency to tune in or feel that breath. Is it front of the body, back of the body, side of the body? There's no right or wrong, but just take a nice big breath and notice where you feel the most feedback of breath. So for me, it's like a little bit of front of the ribs, front of the belly. That's where I tend to just really be able to tune in and notice my breath. So notice where you feel your breath. And then see if you can find like sort of the opposition to where you feel your breath. So if I felt it in the front of my belly, solar plexus, rib cage, then I want to see if I can get that breath to show up a little bit in back body. So notice where you felt the breath and see if you can find sort of an opposite place to that, and just see if you can expand your breath and get a little bit of feedback into that space. Take one more breath. And then before we start to move, just take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, arms are going to float up into I Dream of Jeannie arms, and you're going to start with that pull from side to side. So just moving the elbows slightly across the midline of the body. Take your time, go nice and slow. And just as you start to move here, notice how your back feels, notice how your shoulders feel. And then maybe even notice your head and your neck. Like if you picked your arms up and that caused your chin to lift and you're looking up towards the corner of your ceiling, see if you can bring your chin back down and keep your chin in that slightly down position so that your eyes are on the ceiling, and then get those elbows pulling from side to side again. All right, now we're going to take those elbows pulling from side to side, but move them a little up and down. So just the elbows are moving up and down and side to side. Head and the hips and the back body are all going to stay as neutral and steady as possible. We're going to go for about 3 more cycles of breath, but you're going to now go eyes on the horizon, gaze at the ceiling. So you're just going to let your eyes rest in that focus position. So there's your drishti, focusing on the ceiling. You may notice the movement in your peripheral vision, but you're not going to let your eyes move with it. And then just finish those last 2 cycles of breath. All right, and then when you're ready, arms are going to float up and open into cactus or gold post position, and then take it right into some nice windshield wipers with as much range of motion as you feel is available. So you don't have to rush it, but notice how your back feels, notice how your hips feel. Notice where your natural tendency towards range of motion starts, and then notice where it increases to. All right, take one more windshield wiper from side to side, and then walk your feet in a little bit closer. So feet about hip width distance apart, hands are gonna come right down alongside the hips and take it right into pelvic tilt. Exhale, press your low back into the ground. Inhale, release to the natural curve of your back. Exhale, press your low back down. Inhale to release. Exhale to press. Inhale to release, and then take about 3 more and just look for a little of that hollow of the belly as you press the low back down. Notice how your low back feels. Notice how that little pelvic tuck feels. Okay, now we're gonna roll to one side and we're gonna take our yoga block with, and then we're gonna take a moment to get a little bit of a setup. So this one's just a little bit specific. So we're gonna go into a 90-90 angle with our legs, but our yoga block on low setting is gonna go underneath our feet. So you're gonna get your feet sort of propped up, and then we're gonna keep and maintain, we're gonna try to keep and maintain a squared up hip, 90-90 bend with the arm, with the legs, and then you're gonna lower down and you're gonna let your arms support the head. But this is where that second pillow or second block might come in. If you want, just if the arm support doesn't feel good, put a little pillow underneath your head. And then you're going to just get everything squared up. So once you've come down into that lower lying down position, you're going to get everything re-squared up again. And then we want to think about, so I've got my back kind of lined up against the back edge of my mat, and we want to keep and maintain this 90-90 angle. So we don't want to let the body concave. We don't want to like hike up a hip. We don't want to do anything funny. So once we've gotten into this position, we're going to take that top hand and it's just going to go to the low belly. You're going to take an in breath, fill your rib cage up. And then as you exhale, belly draws in a little bit, and you're going to push that bottom knee into the top knee, and the knees are going to lift up together, and then they're going to lower down nice and slow. And then you want to try to maintain not much else moved. So we're not crunching in, we're not hiking in, we're not C-curving the spine. We're keeping that long spine. Take an inhalation, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, belly draws in towards the spine. Push into that bottom knee pushes into the top knee, lifting up, and then lower nice and slow. And now what we want to start to feel is as we do that knee pushing up into that top knee, we want to feel like that bottom leg's inner thigh muscles are doing the work. Take a breath, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, push bottom knee up into top knee, lift. Inhale and lower back down. Exhale, push the knee into top knee, lift. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, push the bottom knee into top knee and lift. Inhale and lower down. We're going to go for a few more here, but if you've got a good breath coordination going on, exhale, bottom knee pushes up and lifts. And then the inhale, we lower down. So it doesn't have to match my pace, but we do want to work with that breath. Exhale, belly draws in, bottom knee pushes, and we lift. And then inhale and lower down. Go for a few more here. Go for about 2 more if you can. Awesome. And then we're going to readjust our position just a little bit. So we're going to let our feet come off of the block. Now we're going to move that block. Now you can move that block underneath your head if you want to, but now we're going to go into that sideline position where we do the hip glide. So block or pillow underneath your head. Knees are stacked, hips are stacked, arms are together, and then we're going to go shoulder and hip moving in opposition. So the hip is going to push back as the shoulder comes forward, and then the shoulder comes back as the hip goes forward. So we're going to find that nice oppositional glide. This is one of those ones that it just takes me a second to get that little bit of coordination. So slow, 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 shoulder forward, hip back, hip forward, shoulder back, and see if you can find that gliding. So this is a somatic movement. It's meant to kind of mimic the way that our hips and shoulders move in coordination with each other as we walk, but we want to get this slowed down and go slow, slow, slow. Find this coordination, hip back, shoulder forward, shoulder back, hip forward. Notice your breath as you go. All right, go for about 3 more glides. Now, as you come back in, we're going to keep the knees stacked, and you're just going to kind of scooch that block out from underneath your head. And then your upper hand is going to wrap up over and around so that you're holding on to the side of your head. Then once you've got that going on, you're going to keep knees together, and you're going to think now a little bit of C-spine. So you're going to lift your head, you're going to lift the top foot, but the knees stay together, and you're going to get a little squeeze in at that side body, and then lower down nice and slow and controlled. Lift up, get a little squeeze in that side body. Lower down, nice and slow. Exhale, lift up, squeeze side body. Inhale, lower, slow. Exhale, lift up, squeeze side body. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift up, squeeze side body. Inhale, lower down. Nice. Now grab your block. Now we're going to take that block and put it out in front of us. And now we're going to go medium setting with the block into those thoracic twists. So your top leg is going to get supported on that block. Bottom hand is going to anchor that leg there. Top hand is going to reach and touch the floor in front of you. And then as you exhale, open up into a twist. Inhale, bring your hand back in. Exhale and open up. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, open up, stay there. Take an extra cycle of breath. All right, and then as you inhale, come back in. You might just get a little bit firmer through the upper body. Now you're going to flex that bottom leg, bottom foot. And now we're just going to do some lift and lower with that bottom leg. So we're just keeping the upper body in that nice stable position. You can bring that pillow back underneath your head if you want to. And then we're just lifting that top leg up. Keep a little bit of a flex in the foot just to keep it nice and active. Take a couple of good lifts and lowers. This is one of those places where that greater trochanter, that side hip bone might feel a little bit on the floor. So if you got here and you're like, oh, that's where, then if it feels a little funky, then when we flip around to the other side, definitely make sure you put a little blankie underneath the side of your hip. All right, take one more lift and lower of that leg, and then let the leg touch down. We're going to take one hypopressive, one abdominal vacuum here. So support your head, get into that sideline position. That top leg is a little bit active. Flex the bottom foot as well. And then just you want to feel like you're a little bit alive. So we're not just like sort of lazy sleeping on our sides. We're a little bit active and energized through side body. And then once you feel like you're a little bit active, hand to the rib cage, take a big breath, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, and at the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Apnea, open ribs. And you're ready. Release your air. Pick up that top leg just so that you can move that block out of the way. Come back into that 90-90 position. Now lift that top leg upward and take it right into that pressure cooker. So think bottom rib cage lift, hand pushes into the leg pushes into the hand. So we create that upper pushing resistance, holding that resistance as the bottom rib cage is also trying to lift away from the ground, and hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, lift up as if you're going to sit up to that clam side position. And then once you've got your clam side position, hand right to the side of the thigh. Create resistance, lift the leg up. Create resistance, lower it down. Create resistance, lift up. Create resistance, lower down. Create resistance, lift up. Create resistance, lower down. Whole top leg lift. Create resistance, lift the whole top leg up. Create resistance, lower down. Create resistance, lift up. Create resistance, lower down. Last one here. Create resistance, lift up. Create resistance, lower down. Take your block. Medium setting, I think, is the way to go, but you'll adjust along the way. Now we're going to get that block underneath the armpit, and then we're going to look to get the edge of the block into that muscle at the back of the armpit. So you want the edge of your block on that muscle. This is just a little bit of myofascial release. And then once you've got a place where that block can kind of hug in or dig in a little bit to that muscle, then you're just going to do that nice little tip forward and back. One more tip forward and back. And then we're going to flip. Yoga block is going to go low setting underneath the side of the ribs. So flip it down to that low setting, get it underneath the side of the ribs. Now bottom arm is going to go nice and long. Top hand's going to reach up and over. So now we're thinking lateral side bend. And then once you've got lateral side bend, that top leg, if it wants to, is just going to slide and reach back a little bit, making a little bit more space through that front pocket of the jeans area. So sliding the leg back if that feels good. And then once you've got that side bend, take a nice big breath. Breathe into the side of your rib cage. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly prop yourself up, and we're just going to take it around to the other side. So we're going to get into side lying position on the other side with the block underneath our feet. So we're coming back to where we started. So you're going to go into that 90-90. The block is going to go onto the feet, and then you're going to get yourself all squared up. So see if you can arrange it so that your feet are on the block. You've got that nice 90-degree angle there. And then you get your back lined up against the edge of your mat. So we just keep that good container of shape, and then support your head in whatever way feels good. Once you've got your way here, we're going to think about hand to the belly, take an in breath, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, and as you exhale, push that bottom knee into the top knee and lift the legs up. Inhale and lower down. Exhale, push into that bottom knee, lift up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, belly draws in, bottom knee pushes up. Inhale to lower down. Notice one side might feel a little stronger than the other because we're using those inner thigh adductor muscles. So it just might feel like it's a little bit more challenging one side in comparison to the other. Don't worry about that. Just worry about coordinating with the breath. Inhale, legs are down. Exhale, we push into that bottom knee and lift up. All right, go for 2 more if you can. And then we're going to just pop our feet off of that yoga block. Support the head if you want to, but now we're taking it into that somatic movement. So our legs are still in that 90-degree bend, our hips are stacked, and that hand comes forward. Yoga block underneath your head or pillow underneath your head if that feels like a nice position to be in. And then we take those somatic glides. So we go hip forward, shoulder back, shoulder forward, hip back. And then we glide our hands, we glide our knees, and we make it a nice slow, fluid movement once you get that coordination going on. Take a few more glides. And then when you feel ready, once those legs come back to a neutral stack, hand is going to come up and over, and then we keep the knees together. We lift the top leg up. We get that little squeeze in at the side body, and then we lower down nice and slow. Exhale, give it a little squeeze. Inhale and lower down. Block can move out from underneath your head. Exhale, give it a lift and a squeeze. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Inhale, lower. Now grab your yoga block, medium setting. Yoga block is going to get propped up under the knee. Bottom hand is going to hold that knee in place. Pillow underneath the head if that feels good. Always arrange yourself so that you're comfortable. Top hand is going to reach forward, touch the floor in front of you. And as you exhale, open up into your twist. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale and twist. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, twist, stay there. Take an extra cycle of breath. Awesome. And then as you roll on back in, keeping that knee stacked on the block, bottom leg is now going to get a little bit of work. So we're going to flex the feet just to keep the side body nice and active. And we're just picking up that bottom leg and lowering it nice and slow. All right, one more lift and lower with that leg, and then we're going to take one hypopressive here. So support the head if that feels good, arms straight out, any way that you can position yourself so you feel good in your side lying position, and you can be a little bit active. So we're not getting sleepy and soft. We're staying a little bit firm, a little bit active. So think flex the feet, hand to the rib cage, take a big breath, fill your rib cage up front to back, side to side. Exhale at the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Apnea, open ribs, hold your breath. Release your air. Sit up just a little bit so you can move that block out of the way and then come into that pressure cooker position. So we want to go for that top leg lift. We're in that low lying position. Bottom rib cage is going to try to get active. Top leg is going to push into the hand. So we're holding that container at the bottom half of the body. Push that top leg into your hand. Hand pushes down. Bottom rib cage lifts and hold that tension. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften. Now sit yourself up to clam position. Hand to the thigh. We create that resistance. Resist as you come up. Resist as you lower down. Resist as you come up. Resist, lower down. Resist as you come up. Resist, lower down, whole top leg lift. Resist as you lift up. Resist, lower down. Resist, lift up. Resist, lower down. Resist, lift up. Resist, lower down. Now grab your yoga block, medium setting, slide it underneath the armpit, and then we're looking to get into that muscle at the back of the armpit. So you want to kind of just get your block arranged so that a little edge of your block can kind of press into that back muscle, and then you're just rocking yourself forward and back a little bit. Awesome. One more rock forward and back, and then lift up just enough. Flip block to medium setting, slide it, or slow setting, slide it underneath the rib cage. Now coming into that lateral side bend position, top hand's going to reach up and over, and then that top leg slides back. Create a little space in that front pocket of your jeans. Take a nice big breath. Breathe into your rib cage. Think front to back, side to side with the breath here. All right, and then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly lift yourself up and off that block. And then we're just gonna spin ourselves around so we're sitting on our butt with our legs out in front of us. So think reflexive seat, feet nice and firm on the ground, nice generous bend in the knees. We're gonna go 4 fingers down from the knee pit. So you're gonna think about where your 4 fingers land, and then just underneath those 4 fingers, you're gonna find a middle point of the calf muscle, and you're gonna press into that middle point. And you're going to do that little marma point pressure, and then you're just going to fold over just a little bit. Let your chin tuck down. Take a nice big breath, drawing little circles into the calf muscle with your thumbs. Big breath into back body. Think breathing into the back of your rib cage, a nice full breath. Exhale, empty from the bottom to the top. Take one more breath. All right, hands are going to find the knees and the shins. Take it right into your seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck chin to chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round, and then inhale, neutral spine, spin your legs around, find your way onto all fours or tabletop position. Once you've got your tabletop position, both sets of toes curled under right away, take it into that nice toe stretch, rock forward and back, but back towards the heels, shoulders slightly past the wrists. One more rock forward and back, and then come into table. Slide your right leg back, toes curled under. Take 3 rocks forward and back there. And then we're going to take the toe hop. So you're going to take that right foot and you're going to hop from the corners of your mat, just hopping back and forth. Get your legs swinging from side to side, and then see how stable can you be in the upper body. Can your gaze be down between your thumbs, but you've got this nice little double tuck of the chin, and it feels like your hands are trying to just pull the yoga mat apart, so you're keeping the upper body nice and stable. Okay, now the next time your toe hops over to left corner, stay there, hug in at left side body. So left hip towards the shoulder, look over your shoulder, look toward your right foot, take a breath. Nice. Release nice and slow, come back to table. Left leg is gonna slide back, toes curled under, 3 rocks forward and back there. All right, and then the next time shoulders come in line with the wrists, stay there, stabilize upper body, start that toe hop, hopping that foot from corner to corner. And then once you've got that foot going on, then we want to focus on staying nice and active and stable in upper body. So hands feel as if They're trying to pull the yoga mat apart. Shoulders are nice and engaged. Head is in a really nice position, gazing down between the thumbs. All right, now the next time that left foot hops over to right corner, hug inside body. Think right shoulder towards the hip, look over your right shoulder. See your left foot, take a big breath, breathe into your rib cage. Beautiful, release nice and slow. Step that foot back into tabletop position. Arms are gonna go out to puppy pose. So walk your hands out, let your chest soften down for a moment. Let your fingers soften just for a moment. Take a nice big breath. On your next inhale, walk it back to tabletop position. On an exhale, take it up to downward facing dog. Right leg is gonna come up, three-legged dog, and then we're gonna go into a tabletop position with that knee tucking into the elbow. So you're gonna bend your right knee and tuck it into the elbow, and your left knee is gonna bend as if it's trying to touch down, but it's not gonna touch. And then we're gonna kick that right leg back up to the sky. Beautiful, do that again. Bending in. Take it back up to the sky. One more time, bend and bring it in. Kick it up to the sky. Roll the hip open. Release that foot down to the ground. Take it to the other side. Left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Take that left knee and bring it towards left elbow. Right knee comes down to hover table. Lift everything back up. Left knee, right elbow, right knee comes into hover. Kick it back up. Left knee comes into the elbow, right knee hover. Kick it back up and then roll the hip open, pause there, take a breath. Beautiful, release nice and slow, back through table, and we're gonna take it back to a child's pose. So big toes together, knees together, or big toes together, knees apart, totally up to you, but bring your butt back towards your heels. Loving that, loving that. Woo, woo, woo. Build a little heat in that body. Get that tapas. All right, butt back to the heels, heart softens down, take 3 nice big breaths here. On your next in-breath, lift up to table, curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. We're gonna walk our feet towards our hands, so take your time. Slowly walk your way towards the front end of your mat. Once you found your way to the front end of your mat, inhale, half fold. Exhale, soften back down. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, half fold. Keep that length in your spine. Bend your knees. Push strong into your feet. Inhale, arms up above your head. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Now we're going to take right hand and you're going to tuck it into shoulder blade area or tuck it behind back body, wherever it comfortably goes. The other hand's just going to stay out at your side, nice and active. And then we're going to go for that hip hinge. So you're going to think, hoop up and over, so we keep that nice long spine. You almost want to imagine that you're trying to pull your hip points up and over so that they could peek at your thighs, and then strong back, push strong into your feet, come back up and over, come to that halfway fold point, soft bend in the knees, push down into your feet, come back up. One more time, up and over. Strong legs, push your way back up. And then we're going to switch arms. So the other hand is going to just tuck back in. One side might be different from the other, so just let it go where it goes. It's not specific. It's really just meant to stretch the shoulder a little bit. Other arm is just going to come out at the side. Up and over, find that hip hinge. Strong feet, push down into the ground, come back up. Up and over. Come back up. One more time, up and over. Come back up, and then both hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles down, get a little squeeze in the shoulder blades, and then lift the arms away from the back of the body. Once you've got your way here, shoulders are going to try to stay down, but the arms are going to stay back. Lift your chin up, tuck your chin down. Lift your chin up, tuck your chin down. Lift your chin up, tuck your chin down. Head's going to come to neutral position. Unlace your hands, bring them right up above your head like you're holding a beach ball. Inhale, sink into a chair. Start your exhale, push into your feet, rise up. Inhale, sink into chair. Think spread your sitting bones. Start your exhale first, push into your feet, rise up. Inhale, sit down and back. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, sit down and back. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, sit down and back. Hands are going to find the tops of your knees, or think where your fronts of your thighs meet your knees, but fingers are going to turn in. And now we're going to lift the bum, tip forward, let your head tuck down as if you're trying to flip your hair over to put your hair in a towel. So get your head to tuck down. Now imagine that you're trying to make space through your belly to put a beach ball there. So you're going to lift the belly button, round a little through the back of the body. Lift the arches of your feet. Head wants to look to the belly. So make a nice space or hollow for that belly, for the head to look for the belly. Might not see it. Don't worry about that. Take a breath. Fill up your rib cage. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Apnea, open ribs. If you can hold that apnea, you're going to take your hands and just fold them down towards the ground. Bend your knees as you go. And then once you're down to the ground, release your air. Step right leg back, low lunge position. Bring the back knee down. Let the front knee go past the toe. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Take a breath. One more breath. All right, plant your palms, step back to plank position. Bring your knees down in plank position. We're going to come down elbows and forearms. So elbows and forearms, low plank position. Lift your knees up, hold for 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Slide your right elbow forward 2 inches. Lift your knees up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Right elbow slides in. Left elbow moves forward 2 inches. Lift your knees up. Hold there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Elbow moves back. Both elbows lined up. Lift your knees up. Hold 3, 2, 1. Knees come down. Hips float down. Sphinx position. Press into the elbows, pull your heart forward, press up through the top of your head. Take a breath. Now we're going to take it into a seal. So your hands are going to swing out to the edges of your mat or to the corners of your mat. So your arms are just going to get a little bit of a turned out position. Now press into your palms, lift your elbows up, lift your chest, bigger back bend, go where it feels good. Pause and take a breath. Lower nice and slow. Slide your hands in. Push your way up to tabletop position, all the way back to a child's pose. Stay there for 1 breath. Inhale up to table, curl your toes under. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Slow walk forward. Take your time. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Once you've found that forward fold at the top of your mat, pause there for a moment. Take a breath. Inhale to half forward fold. Keep all of that length in your spine. Bend your knees, push into your feet. Inhale, arms up. Grab that beach ball above your head. Inhale, sink into a chair. Exhale, push into your feet, rise up. Inhale, sink into chair. Exhale, push into your feet, rise up. Inhale, sink into chair. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, chair. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, chair. Hands are going to find the tops of the thighs. Lift your bum. Soft bend in the knees. Think ball around that belly. So we want to make just that little bit of space for our abdomen. Head comes down as if you're putting your hair into a towel. Now create a little bit extra length in your spine if you can find it. Get that beach ball held in the belly. Take a breath. Fill your rib cage up. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Apnea, open ribs. Hold your breath. And if you can hold that abdominal vacuum, release your hands, hold vacuum. Hands are going to fold down towards the ground. And then once you're there, release your air. Left leg is going to step back, low lunge position. Let the front knee go past the toe. Get comfortable there first. And then once you're there, lift your chest, lift your chin, hang out there. Notice your breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, peel back just enough. Your palms, step back to a plank position. Once you've got that plank position, bring your knees down. We're going to come down elbows and forearms again. So get your elbows and forearms down. Get your upper body arranged. And then once you're there, pick up your knees. Hold 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees. Slide your left elbow forward 2 inches. Lift your knees up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees. Left elbow slides in, right elbow moves forward 2 inches. Lift your knees up, hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down, right elbow comes back in. Both elbows lined up, lift your knees up, hold 3, 2, 1. Knees come down, lower all the way down onto your belly. This time, take your hands into that A shape. So hands down alongside your hips, back extension. Inhale, lift your heart up, reach fingers toward your heels. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Hands come alongside the shoulders. Push your way up through table, back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees together. Big toes together, knees apart. Totally up to you. Not staying too long, so just go where it feels really comfortable. Take a nice big breath. On your next in-breath, lift up through tabletop position. Spin your legs off to one side. We're going to sit on our butt with our legs out in front of us, nice and long. Take one forward fold with both legs, and then we're going to go into head to knee pose, and we're going to add a little bit of those bandhas. So we're going to play around with Mula Bandha. That's our pelvic floor lift, where we lift front and back elimination muscles in a little squeeze. And then Uddiyana Bandha, that's our abdominal vacuum. And then we have Jalandhara Bandha, which is that throat lock. So when we get into the full tilt of it, it'll be lift from the pelvic floor, suctioning the belly and tucking the chin, and we'll fold. But to start, legs out in front of you, nice bend in the knees. Take a big breath, lift your arms up. Exhale and just reach towards your feet. All right, walk yourself out of that fold. Bend your left knee like you're going into a tree pose, and then the right leg is going to go out, but we're going to keep a little micro bend in that leg. Flex your foot up and over. We're going to lift up, and as we lift upward, you're going to think squeezing up from the pelvic floor muscles, but front and back elimination muscles. So not just the front. See if you can find a little lift and squeeze from that whole muscular bowl that resists down there. Lift it up with your, like, imagine you're lifting it up with your hands, and then lift up and over, reach toward your foot. Take a moment there. All right, now walk it back in nice and slow. Arms are going to come up. This time we're going to see if we can find a little squeeze from the pelvic floor and that abdominal vacuum. So you're going to take an in breath, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, everything comes up, release your air, suck it all in. Hold your breath, fold towards your foot. When you feel ready, release your air. Walk it all back up and in. All right, now this last one, we're gonna see if we can attempt a little squeeze from the pelvic floor, abdominal vacuum, and then you're gonna do a little chin tuck as we go. So arms up, take a breath, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, at the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, apnea, open ribs. Tuck your chin, reach toward your foot. When you feel ready, release your air. And then walk it back in nice and slow. And we're going to switch that work to the other side. Bend your right knee, send your left leg long, but keep a little micro bend in the knees. Arms come up, think up, 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 up. And then as you exhale, get that little squeeze, front to back elimination muscles. Squeeze and lift them up as you fold toward your foot. Release when you feel comfortable. You don't have to hold it for too long. We just want to find that muscle activation. And then when you're ready, walk it back in. Take your time. All right, now arms up and overhead. Now we go Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. So we lift from the pelvic floor, get that little squeeze. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Exhale, abdominal vacuum when you can. Hold your vacuum, fold towards your feet. Release your air when you want to. Walk it back in nice and slow. Last one here. So it's going to be Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. So everything's going to happen and we're going to hold it for a second. We fold towards our feet and then we release when we're ready. Find your upward lifting position. Take a breath. Fill your rib cage up. Exhale at the end of your exhale. Prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Pelvic floor lifts. Suck the belly in. Tuck your chin. Reach towards your foot. Release your air when you feel ready. Wonderful. And then walk yourself out nice and slow and controlled. Take your time. Grab your yoga strap or your TheraBand and take it down onto the ground with you. So get your strap, come down onto your back. And then once you've got your way there, we're going to take our strap and we're going to loop it underneath the bottom of the right foot. So you're going to get a good firm handhold, left leg long or left leg bent, what feels good to you. A little bit of a micro bend in that right leg. Hold on firm to your strap. Push your heel like you're trying to push your heel down towards the ground, and your hands are going to work hard to hold that resistance. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften. Pull the leg a little bit closer to your heart space. Take a moment. All right, now bring that leg back in line with the hips and then just take it into a nice gentle swing from side to side. Let your arm help you or let the leg and the arm work in coordination, whatever gets you just a nice gentle swinging from side to side. Okay, now the next time the leg comes across the midline of the body, so about 45 degrees across the midline of the body, turn your toe in and hold there. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unturn the toe, and then you're going to hold on to the ends of your strap with your right hand. Take that leg out as wide to the right as it will comfortably go. Hang out there for a moment. Notice your breath. All right, use the strength in your arms. Pick that leg back up to center. Kick your left foot up into the loop and then step your right leg out. Right leg is just going to go where it feels the most comfortable. Once you've got your way there, hold on firm to that strap. A micro bend in that left knee. Hold on tight. Push your heel like it's trying to push down towards the ground, but you're holding on firm, so you're not going to let it. Hold that tension. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften. Bring the leg a little bit closer to your heart. All right, and then when you're ready, we're going to hold on to the ends of that strap and then start to swing the leg from side to side. Doesn't need to be anything specific. We're just looking for a little bit of range of motion, gliding that thigh bone in the hip socket from side to side. All right, now the next time that leg comes across midline of the body, so the foot is over towards the right, so it's about 45 degrees across, hold there, but now turn the toe in a little bit and hold that toe turn. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return your toe back to normal position and then swing that leg out nice and wide out to the left as far as it comfortably goes. Use the strength in your arm, help lift that leg back up. We're going to put both feet back up into the loop. So think legs up the wall, but with a little bit of a tension. So we want to keep the knees a little bit bent. We're not really trying to like stress out the backs of the legs. We want just a little bit of feedback of feeling on our feet. So feet are flexed. We're just gently tugging on that strap. Get your back nice and cozy on the ground. Eyes back on the horizon. So come back to your drishti for a moment. Let your eyes focus up on the ceiling. Breathe into your rib cage. Think front to back, side to side, 360 breath. Fill your rib cage up. Look for that little bit of feedback, feeling your back of your rib cage against the ground. One more breath. All right, now we're going to release our hands from our strap. This one's a little challenging, so if it doesn't fly up, don't get all stressed. Don't worry about that too much because this one is really like, this is like level 3. It's like super, it's just challenging. So we're going to go legs up the wall, and we're going to go hands coming into the thighs. You're going to think pushing thighs into the hands and hands pushing into the thighs. So we're creating this frame of resistance. So your legs are pushing into your hands are pushing into your legs. Nice active body here. Feet are a little bit flexed. Eyes on the horizon. Now take a breath. Fill your rib cage up. Exhale nice and slow. Inhale, fill rib cage up. 360 breath, front to back, side to side. Exhale, try to maintain that shape of the ribs. Let the belly hollow just a little bit. Nice. Last cycle of breath. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, prepare, swallow, close off nose, mouth, and throat. Apnea, open ribs. Release your air. Left foot's going to float down to the ground. Right leg is going to come across the left, right into a figure 4. Once you've got that figure 4, you're picking it right back up. Thread your hands through and bring it to that middle point. So not too close, not too far. Find that middle space and then hang out there for a moment. Let your shoulders get soft. Let your belly be soft. One more breath. And then when you're ready, switching the cross in our legs, right foot to the ground, left leg over the right, and then pick it right back up. Go for that middle space, not too close, not too far. Find that middle shape and then just hang out there with your breath. When you're ready, we're releasing right to our Shavasana. So release your figure four. If you want just a little windshield wiper in between, maybe you pause there for a moment, but just ask yourself, where are you going? Where do you want your Shavasana to be? Would it feel good to come back to constructive rest where we started? Would it feel nice to be in Apanasana, knees to chest, or come back to legs up the wall? Does it feel good to take that more traditional shape, or maybe it feels nice to roll to one side? So take a second to get your body positioning figured out, and then just make sure you're not too cold, not too hot, just right. And then once you've got things kind of just right, let everything have a little softness. Soft and heavy in your bones. Soft and heavy in your muscles. Soft and heavy around your abdomen, letting the organs just rest. So no need to grip in the muscles, no need to hold on tight. Just let your body settle. Soft and heavy in the space between your eyebrows, and just let your eyebrows melt away from each other as if your eyebrows are trying to melt into your temples, and just a smooth forehead, soft crown of your head. Let that softness find its way all the way to the edges of your skin. If you can keep most of your body soft, especially if you opted for a more traditional Shavasana shape and your legs are long, start to twinkle your toes just a little bit. If you opted for constructive rest or reclined cobbler's pose, take a second to sort of walk your legs nice and long, looking towards that corpse position so that we could take it into our corpse rolls. So once you've got your legs nice and long, we're going to let the toes rotate in and let them rotate out. So really it's the full leg unit. It's the whole leg rotates in, toes turn in, the whole leg turns out. So you want to feel like maybe front of the thigh rotates, front pocket of the jeans gets a little action going on. So hands on wherever you feel like you can just tune in if you feel like you need to get a sense of where that movement is generating from. But then once you've got that going on and you know how the work is happening, just let it roll. Let the toes turn in, let them turn out. Go for about 5. And then once you've done about 5, you're going to step your feet in a little bit closer, like you're standing in mountain pose, but down on a supine position. And then we're going to pick the right leg up into a hover, and then you're just going to do a little bit of a soccer kick. So keep a little flex in the foot and just kick your foot. Right foot is going to kick over and across the left leg just a little bit. You want to feel like your inner thigh gets a little bit of work going on, and then bring it back in and go for like 2 more kicks. Just kick across, bring it back, kick across, bring it back, set it down, pick up your left leg. Right leg is going to stay in that flex position, so the right leg is a little bit anchored and keeping you active on the ground. Now left leg is going to do that soccer kick across the right leg, come back in, soccer kick across, come back in, soccer kick across, come back in. Go for 2 more if you can. And then set that leg down and just give it all a good shake. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, and then take it into good morning stretch. Reach your hands up above your head, stretch long through your fingers, reach through your toes, take a nice big breath. And then in your own way and at your own pace, find your way up to a comfortable seated position, coming up to Sukhasana with legs crossed, or any seat that lets you sit up nice and tall. And then once you've got that nice tall position, you're going to go one hand to front where you can feel a little bit of rib cage underneath your hands, and then back hand is going to feel like it can feel a little rib cage in the back body. So nothing specific where you land, just can you feel a little bit of the rib cage in the back, a little bit of the rib cage in the front. Now take a big breath, breathe into your rib cage, but think 360 breath, front to back, side to side. Exhale nice and slow. Inhale, fill your rib cage up. Exhale nice and slow. Hands find the sides of the ribs. Last breath. Inhale, fill your rib cage up, front to back, side to side. Exhale nice and slow, and then just bring your hands right into Anjali Mudra, prayer hands to heart center, and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, for all of your hard work. And then breathe in a nice extra dose of love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with anyone who might need it. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. You guys are amazing.